We're now listening to Wealthy Sistas Radio Show. We're now listening to Wealthy Sistas with Deborah Hardnett.
Well, great morning, great morning, great morning. Yes, indeed. We are back and super excited to say hello to our awesome audience. It's been a while, but this is 2025 and Wealthy Sistas is back and alive. You know it. Okay, let me stop trying to rhyme. I'm not a rapper. I like to think that I am sometime, but it is such a pleasure to have everybody back. You know, Wealthy Sistas Radio's been around since 2009. Oh my. We have a lot of content that's available for you. You can go to wealthysistasradio.com. Want to thank our sponsors, of course, brought to you by the Hartford Group, FOCC Institute, and Miss Organic. All right. Well, today's show is going to be not just because it's our new show coming back, but it is a special guest that I am super excited to introduce to everyone today, or reintroduce, shall I say. She's no stranger to Wealthy Sistas Radio. She is a mentor of mine. She is someone that I have so much respect for. She's a pioneer there in the DC area, and we're talking today about life after 8A graduation. Okay, so let me, without any further delay, bring to the show today Miss Tonya Saunders, who is the principal of Washington Premier and the founder of Mid-Tier Advocacy. Welcome, Tonya.
Oh, Deborah, thank you. What a wonderful day and time to just share with you and be with you. You are indeed a dear friend, and I relish mentor. So thank you so much.
Yes.
I just want to say good afternoon to all of your listeners, and again, thank you, Deborah, for your kind introduction and for allowing me this time to share some insights with your audience today.
Yes.
I know we are in interesting times, challenging for some and possibly opportunities for others. So as we delve into the 8A program, which for those who are not federal contractors, it is a designated category for federal contractors who are disenfranchised or disadvantaged, if you will. Mm-hmm. It's essential to appreciate the significance, first and foremost, of these initiatives, the 8A program, the Women-Owned Small Business Programs, the Service-Disabled Veteran-Owned Small Business Programs, as well as HubZone, and under other categories, DBEs and MBEs. But these initiatives, these federal initiatives, started as a way of helping to level the playing field and creating opportunities for diverse businesses across the nation. The 8A Business Development Program, by way of background, as some of you may know, was specifically designed to assist small, disadvantaged business in navigating the federal contracting landscape. Through the program, eligible companies can benefit from set-aside contracts that not only enhance their visibility in the federal marketplace, it also provides vital mentorship.
Wow.
There's that word, mentor.
That mentorship. And you know, I appreciate you sharing the background on this, because a lot of times we have heard or maybe have seen 8A, you know, or the women owned. Someone may have visited someone's site and seen veteran owned. Can you, before we get further into this, because I know some people might be saying, okay, who is she and how can she tell us about this? Can you give us, as we like to say, your pedigree, your background, the recipe that went into what we see today, how you are qualified to talk about our topic today?
I'm happy to share, and I won't belabor my background, which is rather long. I've been for a while. My background started on Capitol Hill years ago. I worked in the United States Senate. Primarily, my background is in legislative policy, the political arena as well. My company, Washington Premier Group, is in fact a consulting firm, more or less registered as a lobbying shop. And what we do at Washington Premier Group is represent clients on legislative issues. I've worked with major corporations and small businesses throughout the years. Some major corporations for your Atlanta audience include Delta Airlines. Others in the healthcare arena would include Puerto Rico Hospital Association. Moving forward through time, I've also been a federally registered foreign agent for Panama, just a number of entities that I've worked with and worked on their behalf, again, before Congress. Now, what I am currently doing, I founded an organization called Mid-Tier Advocacy. It is an organization of small and mid-sized companies. Primarily, they're beyond their small size standards, and they are looking at growth strategies. Once you get to the size outside of the small business size, you're sort of in no man's land. We call it too big to be small or too small to be big. But the problem is you have to then compete not with like-sized companies, but those that are very large companies. For example, small business can exceed their size standards, say 30, 35 million. Well, you're now in competition with the $45 billion integrator like Northrop Grumman and Raytheon and some of the other names.
I've heard that someone, let's say, like you said, Northrop Grumman, they would have 600, a department full of 600 proposal writers versus someone in this category that you're talking about who may have 5 proposal writers. Is that accurate?
That's a very accurate description. Yep. We have shared those dynamics with our congressional members of Congress to suggest to them that given those, challenges, it makes it very difficult to compete on a number of proposals. If you have 600 people writing proposals, you can pump out proposals every hour. Every hour,
right.
You might be able to get 2 or 3 out.
And those proposals are found, or these are on a website, or someone may find out about an opportunity within a government agency. What are those proposals coming from?
Those request proposals, and what a team would then do based on their core capabilities, they would identify whether or not that particular RFP, or in some cases, sources sought, which basically means the government's looking to see who might be able to address some of the needs that they have. Once that decision is made, then that person, that company rather, would put together a team from, internally. Sometimes they have to hire out if you're small to write to the RFP, write to the request for proposal. And basically, you're looking at the document, you're going through it very carefully, you're addressing all of the requirements the government has, and then you submit it on time to the office that's making the request.
Okay. And that takes time. If one person, 2, 3, 4, 5 individuals are doing that, let's say if you gave each of them a role, that still does not compare to some Booz Allen's 600 Department of 600 proposal writers.
Well, and you have to factor in, more importantly, the cost. You don't get paid for writing a proposal. You get paid once you win the work.
Right.
You are actually going through a burn rate. And I know I'm using terminology that contractors use, but basically means you're sitting there and you're chasing potential business, and you're paying the people who are sitting around your table out of your, out of your funds, out of whatever monies you have to spend. So if you're, again, by way of scale, if you're smaller, you have to be very careful about how much money you are utilizing in order to try to win a contract, in order to be able to, continue your business model. I know a lot of details on the contracting side, but I wanted to just share, based on your question, Deborah, in terms of how the process works.
Oh, yes, so that we could have a good visual for those who, because I know there are quite a few people who I've just had a conversation planning for the new year, projecting what their plans are for their business. And several have mentioned that they want to be able to make this a part of their scope of business.
Understood. One key thing I will leave them with as they make their determination on whether federal contracting is actually for them is to know that it typically takes 18 months in order to win one contract. So it's a very long process in respect to the win. There's a lot of competition, and if you're a new entrant, I highly recommend that you gain as much resources internally as you're able to through the SBA, as well as your local accelerator programs, which work with SBA. They help startups understand the ropes and understand all that you're going to need.
That's great. And so you were talking about the different strategies here for the mid-size. And let's, I guess, move more into the transition. What happens when someone graduates from an 8A?
Okay. Well, once we understand why the 8A program began and what the function is, you have 9 years in the program. During that time, with the navigating the challenges, that is building up your opportunities. 8A programs, a lot of people associate with sole source, and that is an opportunity within the program, but there are other opportunities. Teaming with more mature companies or teaming with other small businesses, building your relationships within the community. And let's say you're now looking at that end of your time frame. Once you transition, that can also help present very unique opportunities, but also some challenges, because now you're no longer in the program for the set-asides, which they actually afforded you. So once you're out, those set-asides, like I mentioned before, are no longer applicable to you. However, if you team with other 8As or other companies, you can still work in respect to some of those same programs. You just won't be the prime. And I know I'm, again, using contracting terms, but that still means that you would still have work. But it just wouldn't be that you would be in the category to get work set aside for your business as an 8A.
So someone having an 8A, they've graduated, and you're saying that if they partner or teamed with someone else who's still in the program, they won't be considered the main or the prime, using the correct term there, but they can still find work in that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It sort of flips, where at the prime 8A would get 51%, you get 49. And my mom always told me 49 is better than 0.
That's right. Because I guess the advantage for that person that has graduated that would not be the prime, but would be the subprime with the new prime, maybe their experience, I would imagine 9 years of experience would make a big difference to that person. So that's a win-win, it would seem to me.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely. Yeah. So again, the challenge for the graduated 8As and small business in total that have gone beyond their size standard. Is simple. You're now in a full and open competition where you have to compete with much larger companies.
Wow. So when you see, and I know now Mid-Tier Advocacy is celebrating, is it 12 or 13 years now? Tonya? 15. Oh my gosh. I lost 3 years. It seemed like we just celebrated. We're literally, I lost 5. It seemed like we were just celebrating the 10th year.
That's right. Well, it was the 10th year, and that was, I believe, right before COVID. Right when COVID started.
Right.
But our organization actually began as a coalition in 2010. It became a nonprofit organization a couple of years or so later, but we've been around since 2010.
And can you share a little bit more about the importance of mid-tier advocacy to someone who maybe has graduated or they see maybe a few years they have to go, how they need to prepare to exit the program?
Yes, I'm happy to, Deborah. We have, through our advocacy, and that's what we are. We are an advocacy organization. We try to help educate members on Capitol Hill. We bring together federal agency procurement officials and others to discuss how certain policies can be changed to support the growth of the small business. We have worked over the years and have been successful at getting some legislation that's been significant to small business, such as the Small Business Runway Extension Act, which allows the small business to remain small for at least another 5 years. We've also worked to establish the updating of the NAICS codes. That was through the 2010 Small Business Jobs Act. We also work with GAO and a number of other outside interests who have conducted surveys to determine what legislation might be useful in this space. The real thing I want folks to also take away is the fact that we do business with each other within Mid-Tier Advocacy. So if you're a small business and you're looking for a very successful, larger, small, or a mid-sized company that is well established, whether it's in civilian agencies, DOD, working on or a supplier, for example, we have those companies as members of our board, our CEO roundtable, and in our general membership. And when we come together, whether it be virtually or in person, that's an opportunity for you to get to know other businesses, to let them know about your capabilities, where you can hopefully get an opportunity to team up. See, everybody thinks, oh, I've got to go out and team up with a very large company in order to, get on their subcontracting plan so I can get work. And you may not get work just because you're on their subcontracting plan. That's the way this works. But if you meet a CEO of a smaller company that's also in that full and open space or still small, and they're looking for a good teaming partner, then you're talking to the head of that business.
Right. So
the opportunity to build a relationship with that company, it is so much greater. I mean, how often will you meet the head of, and I'm not bashing Northrop, I'm just using it because it's a well-known name, but how often do you really get to meet the president or CEO of Northrop Grumman?
Right.
I'm just asking.
Right. That is so true. And when you talk about the additional 5 years, this is just to go back. That's exciting. Was that added on to the 9, or was it 4 before?
No. No, let me clear that up. No, that's for all small business. That's not a specific area for 8A. That's for
all small. That's awesome. That's awesome.
And another thing for all small business that we led the charge on was prompt pay. And a number of companies will tell you you want to be paid on time.
Mm-hmm.
With a small business, you don't necessarily have the bandwidth to wait
90 days,
90 days, 6 months, or however long it takes for the prime to get around to pay you.
Right.
Prompt pay ensures that the government pays the primes quicker, and the prime has to pay you quicker.
Okay, that's good. So when
15 days.
15, okay, we want to know what's quicker, because then again, that could be
I
interpreted to something else.
Oh no, I knew it was coming.
You knew it.
15 days.
Wow. And so you talk about being able to meet other CEOs. That's a big deal, to partner and team. And the events that Mid-Tier Advocacy hosts. Hey, I can't think of a better time to talk about this event that's coming up in March.
Thank you. Yes. We have a very significant event. We're hosting a summit for CEOs, and it's exclusive for CEOs. We do have a requirement because we are really ramping up the mid-tier category of businesses. So we're reaching out to all of you who may be in that space or getting ready to graduate from your 8A program. If you're in the 8A program, we are going to have a summit on March 25th at the Tower Club located in Tyson's Corner, Leesburg, Virginia. The event will begin around 12 noon. We have a lot of industry experts who have underwritten this event and who will be there to provide their experience with working on the things that matter the most to business.
Mm-hmm.
When I say business, we're talking about getting down to business, from the financial side, wealth management side, to your back office management side, IT that's available, AI that's available to help you do your business more effectively, more efficiently, and save costs. So this is really focused on that CEO who at other times maybe doesn't get to be in a room full of CEOs. So this is your chance to come out and be a part of the event. We're doing a Hill Day, Capitol Hill, the following day, where we're going to take some of those issues that I shared with you, because we are an advocacy group. That is what we do. We're going to go to the Hill and hold a briefing for members of Congress. A lot of them are new to the House Small Business Committee and the Senate Small Business Committee. And we're going to talk about some of the challenges that are coming up and have already appeared. So we will have a laundry list of things we want to talk about.
That is exciting. So this not only is giving people an opportunity, or those CEOs an opportunity to come and learn, but to meet others, as you said, CEOs, and to begin building relationships as well, I would imagine would come from them.
Absolutely. That's the whole point. And not just with them, but with some major sponsors, Bank of America, Savills, Catapult, High Tech Services. There are a host of others, GovCon Pay, Janus. All of these fine companies are going to be there. We're also having an awards dinner later that evening honoring naval veterans with an organization called the Honor Foundation. So it's going to be a really good time, and it's at a very affordable cost for folks. Check us out on the website at midtier.org, www.midtier.org.
Awesome. Well, Tonya Saunders, the principal of Washington Premier Group, founder of Mid-Tier Advocacy, it has been an extreme pleasure hosting you today. Thank you so much for all of the great information you've shared with our listening audience. What would you like to leave them with? One thought for those business owners that can keep them in the game, because sometimes people are at the point of they might feel discouraged or might feel like they want to give up. like this is too big, because I know people don't think that business owners feel that way, that they see on the outside, they have 20 employees, 50 employees, 100 employees, but they don't know the challenges that someone might be facing. What words of encouragement would you leave with them today, as we encourage them to definitely to attend the event, but also to make sure that they stay in the fight?
Well, I'm glad for that opportunity as well, just to depart or impart some words as I depart, and that is, don't give up on your business. Make yourself known to people that matter in your community, to include your representatives. They do need to know you exist, and they also need to know how well you're doing and whatever challenges you may have. So I always say, policy impacts everything we do. And sometimes policy is made when no one is looking and when no one knows about you. So make yourself known.
All right. Well, you heard it from none other than Tonya Saunders. Thank you so much. You deserve a standing ovation.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Deborah.
Yes, indeed. And tell Logan, thank you so much for not barking the whole show.
Oh, he barked and I left the room, so I apologize.
No, it is great. I love it. It's where we are today.
Yes, it is.
It's human. It's real. Thank you so much. All right. And I want to say thank you so much to our audience for tuning in today. Stay tuned for next week. As we said, we're back. We have another exciting guest next week. Well, I cannot wait for you all to hear from Mr. Victor. Okay, y'all, I'm telling you, you do not want to miss next week's show. So we look forward to seeing you there. Again, you've been tuned in to Wealthy Sistas Radio.
The opinions of our guests do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosts, staff, or partners of Wealthy Sistas Radio.